I never planned to become the woman people whisper about. I used to judge stories like this from a distance, convinced I was different, more grounded, more loyal. My name is Alara Whitcomb, and for 12 years I was married to a man who trusted me without question. Trust like that feels warm at first. Then it starts to feel heavy, like something you're afraid to drop. My husband, Rowan Hale, was steady in every way that counts. He worked long hours, paid the mortgage early, remembered anniversaries without reminders. He wasn't flashy or dramatic. He showed love through consistency, through being there every single day. I told myself that was enough, that wanting more made me ungrateful. Somewhere along the way, though, I started feeling invisible. Not neglected exactly, just unnoticed. Conversations became logistical. Dinners were quiet. We talked about bills, schedules, weather. He would reach for my hand, and I'd let him. But the spark I once felt didn't answer back. I didn't tell him. I told myself this was normal, that passion fades and maturity replaces it. Then came Marcus Bell. He wasn't a savior or a soulmate. He was a distraction with attentive eyes and easy laughter. We met through mutual friends, nothing dramatic. He noticed things, asked how I was really doing. I told myself it was harmless to enjoy being seen again. That lie was the first step, even if I didn't admit it yet. The night everything broke, I told Rowan I was meeting a friend from work. I said her name easily, too easily, and he smiled and told me to have fun. That smile followed me all the way to the hotel elevator. I checked in under my own name, heart pounding, pretending this was some temporary escape that would never touch my real life. Inside that room, the silence was loud. I kept waiting for guilt to stop me, for fear to pull me back. Instead, I felt calm. That scared me more than anything. When Marcus arrived, I crossed the line I had drawn for years. There was no romance in it, no magic, just the heavy finality of a decision I couldn't undo. I didn't sleep much that night. I stared at the ceiling, listening to the city outside, thinking about the man at home who believed my story without hesitation. I told myself I'd fix this, that it was a mistake I could bury and never repeat. I told myself many things to survive until morning. Rowan didn't accuse me. He didn't question me. He just looked at me differently after that. Subtle things changed. He stopped asking follow-up questions, stopped reaching for my hand first. It was like he sensed a shift before I ever spoke. Guilt has a way of leaking out, no matter how careful you are. 3 weeks later, he asked me directly if there was someone else. No anger, no raised voice, just a question, delivered with frightening calm. In that moment, I realized how deeply I had underestimated him. Lying felt pointless. I nodded, barely, and watched 12 years collapse in the space between us. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He thanked me for telling the truth and walked out of the room. That reaction hurt more than any punishment I imagined. Silence can be merciless when you deserve it. That night, he slept in the guest room, and I understood that something fundamental had ended. I tried to explain later, to talk about loneliness and feeling unseen. The words sounded hollow even to me. He listened politely, then said something that still echoes in my head. He told me he had always felt wanted by my presence, and now he felt like a fool for believing it. Rowan asked for space. Not as a tactic, not as a leverage, just as a necessity. He moved through the house like a guest, careful and distant. I watched the man I betrayed detach with quiet efficiency. There was no dramatic confrontation to point to, no moment I could twist into a justification. A month later, he told me he was leaving. Not because of anger, but because trust doesn't regenerate once it's been deliberately destroyed. He said staying would turn him into someone he didn't respect. I wanted to beg. I wanted to promise change. Instead, I nodded, because anything else would have been selfish. After he left, the house felt enormous and empty. Friends tried to comfort me with excuses, with theories about boredom and midlife restlessness. None of it landed. I wasn't a victim of circumstance. I made a series of choices, each one easier than the last, until I reached a place I never thought I'd stand. Marcus faded out quickly, as these things usually do. Without secrecy, there was nothing holding it together. What remained was the wreckage of a marriage built on quiet devotion I failed to value. Consequences don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they arrive as absence. I learned something uncomfortable about myself through this. Not that I was evil or heartless, but that I was capable of betraying someone who never betrayed me. That knowledge stays with you. It changes how you see your own reflection. Rowan never tried to punish me. He didn't need to. The weight of knowing I broke something irreplaceable was enough. When people talk about cheating like it's a momentary lapse, I want to tell them the truth. It's a slow erosion of integrity that ends in a single, irreversible act. I told my husband I'd be with a friend. I checked into a hotel with someone else. And I lost a man who loved me quietly, consistently, without conditions. There is no lesson here that redeems me. Only a reminder that trust, once shattered, doesn't owe you forgiveness. If anyone hears this story and hesitates before crossing that line, then maybe my failure carries meaning, even if it never brings back what I chose to destroy forever again.